The text came on Tuesday morning, 2 days before Thanksgiving, while I was reviewing the holiday staffing schedule for my restaurant group, Thompson Culinary Holdings. Jennifer, we've decided on family only for Thanksgiving this year. Find somewhere else to eat. The reservation at Bella's is just for the real family. Mom. I stared at the message for a moment, then opened our reservation system and searched for Thompson. There it was. Thompson Party of 12, Thursday 4 p.m. Private dining room reserved under Mom's name. Premium Thanksgiving menu, wine pairings, flowers, the full holiday experience. My mother had excluded me from family Thanksgiving, then booked the celebration at a restaurant I owned. The irony was breathtaking. I called my general manager at Bella's, Marcus, who had been running the restaurant for 3 years. Good morning, Jennifer. Ready for our biggest day of the year. Marcus, I need to discuss the Thompson reservation for Thursday. Of course. Party of 12, private dining room. They requested our premium holiday package. Mrs. Thompson seemed very excited when she booked it. Said it was going to be a perfect family celebration. I need you to cancel that reservation. Cancel it? Jennifer, it's Tuesday. Thanksgiving is in 2 days. I understand the timing, Marcus. Jennifer, this is nearly a $3,000 booking. The food has been ordered, the private dining room is set up, the staff is assigned. Marcus, I'll cover any unrecoverable costs. But I want the Thompson reservation cancelled immediately. May I ask why? Is there a problem with payment or? It's a personal matter. Please call Mrs. Thompson and inform her that Bella's can no longer accommodate their party. Jennifer, finding a table for 12 people on Thanksgiving Day is going to be nearly impossible for them. I'm sure they'll figure something out. After hanging up, I walked to my office window overlooking the main dining room of Bella's. The restaurant was bustling with pre-holiday prep, my staff working efficiently to prepare for one of our busiest days of the year. My family had no idea that their rejected daughter owned the perfect venue for their family-only celebration. Thompson Culinary Holdings had grown from a single food truck 8 years ago to a portfolio of 7 restaurants and 2 catering companies. Bella's was my flagship restaurant, an upscale Italian place that had earned 3 Michelin stars and served as the crown jewel of my culinary empire. But to my family, I was just Jennifer who played around with food trucks and never settled down into a real career. The family dynamics were complicated. My older brother Michael was a successful lawyer. My younger sister Ashley was married with 2 kids and worked as a nurse. They represented traditional success that my parents could brag about to their friends. I represented the family ? The daughter who dropped out of law school to start a food truck. The one who worked weekends and holidays. The one who was 31, single, and seemed to prioritize business over family gatherings. What they didn't understand was that I'd built something extraordinary. Thompson Culinary Holdings employed over 200 people, generated $12 million in annual revenue, and had transformed me from a law school dropout into one of the city's most successful restaurant owners. But that success came with sacrifices. I worked most holidays because restaurants are busiest on holidays. I missed family events because my staff needed leadership during peak times. And apparently, those sacrifices had cost me my place at the family table. My phone rang 30 minutes later. Marcus. Jennifer, I called Mrs. Thompson to cancel the reservation. How did she react? She was not pleased. She demanded to speak with the owner, wanted to know why we were canceling with such short notice. What did you tell her? That the owner had a scheduling conflict that required the private dining room for another commitment. Good. Jennifer, she asked if there was any way to accommodate them in the main dining room instead. And I told her we were completely booked for Thanksgiving, which we are. Perfect. She was quite upset. Said something about this ruining their perfect family holiday. I'm sure she was upset. Jennifer, can I ask why you're canceling on your own family? Marcus knew me well enough to ask direct questions. He'd been with the company for 3 years and had seen me work every major holiday. Marcus, they uninvited me from family Thanksgiving because they wanted it to be family only. But you are family. Apparently not the right kind of family. I see. And they don't know you own Bella's. They know I work in restaurants. They don't know I own restaurants. Jennifer, that's going to be an interesting conversation when they figure it out. If they figure it out. An hour later, my phone started buzzing with messages from various family members. Ashley, Jen, Mom told me about Thanksgiving. Are you doing okay? Do you want to come to our house instead? Michael, heard about the family dinner situation. Mom said she wants to keep it simple this year. Dad, Jennifer, your mother is stressed about holiday planning. Don't take the Thanksgiving thing personally. I found it interesting how everyone was trying to soften Mom's family-only declaration. They all knew it was cruel, but no one was willing to directly challenge her decision. Then came the call I was expecting. Jennifer, something terrible has happened. Hi Mom. What's wrong? The restaurant canceled our Thanksgiving reservation. 2 days before Thanksgiving. Oh no, that's awful. Which restaurant? Bella's. We had a perfect reservation for 12 people, private dining room, and they just called and canceled. Did they give you a reason? Some nonsense about a scheduling conflict. Jennifer, we have your Uncle Robert flying in from Denver, your cousin Mary driving from Phoenix. Everyone is coming for this dinner. That does sound stressful, Mom. Jennifer, you work in restaurants. Do you know anyone who might have availability for Thanksgiving dinner? Somewhere nice. The irony was almost too perfect to believe. The woman who had just excluded me from family Thanksgiving was now asking for my help finding a restaurant. I might know some people in the industry, Mom. What kind of place were you looking for? Something elegant. We wanted to show the family how well we're doing. Uncle Robert is always bragging about his successful children, and we wanted to have our dinner somewhere impressive. Impressive? Yes. Bella's was perfect. It's that 3-star place downtown, very exclusive. We were so excited to tell everyone we were dining there. I see. And you wanted to show everyone how successful our family is. Exactly. Jennifer, can you make some calls? Maybe someone knows someone who can help us. Mom, can I ask you something? Of course, honey. When you decided to make Thanksgiving family only, what did you mean by that? There was a pause. Jennifer, we just wanted to keep things simple. But I'm family, Mom. Of course you are, sweetheart. We thought you might be too busy with work to enjoy a family dinner. Too busy or not successful enough? Jennifer, what do you mean? I mean, you wanted to impress Uncle Robert with how well the family is doing. Did you think having me there would hurt that image? Jennifer, that's not what this is about. What is it about, Mom? It's about, Jennifer, you work so much. You miss so many family events. We thought maybe you'd be more comfortable just doing your own thing. My own thing? Yes. And honestly, Jennifer, Uncle Robert is always talking about Michael Jr.'s law practice and Mary's medical residency. We thought it might be easier if the family disappointment wasn't there. Jennifer, you're not a disappointment. But I'm not impressive enough for Uncle Robert? That's not what I meant. Mom, what do you think I do for work? You work in restaurants. You have that food truck business. What else? What do you mean, what else? I mean, what do you think my food truck business involves? I don't know, Jennifer. You make food, you sell it. It's not really something I understand. Have you ever asked me to explain it? Jennifer, why are these questions important right now? I need help finding a restaurant. Mom, I'll see what I can do. Let me make some calls. After hanging up, I sat in my office thinking about the situation. My mother had excluded me from family Thanksgiving because she was embarrassed by my career, then unknowingly booked the celebration at my restaurant, then called me for help when the booking was canceled. The layers of irony were almost too much to process. I called Marcus back. Marcus, has Mrs. Thompson called back? 3 times. She's getting increasingly desperate. She asked if we knew of any other upscale restaurants that might have last-minute availability. What did you tell her? That most comparable restaurants book Thanksgiving months in advance, but I could give her a list of places that might be worth calling. And Jennifer, she started crying. Said this was supposed to be a perfect family celebration and now it's ruined. Crying. She said her brother is coming from out of town specifically because she bragged about having dinner at Bella's. Said she'll be humiliated if they end up at some chain restaurant. Despite everything, I felt a pang of sympathy. Mom wasn't evil, just shallow and image-conscious. She'd made a cruel decision about excluding me, but she was genuinely distressed about the consequences. Marcus, what would you think about offering them a compromise? What kind of compromise? They can have their reservation back but with modified terms. What kind of modifications? They can have the private dining room, but the party size increases to 13 people. 13 people? Yes. I'll be joining them. Jennifer, are you sure about this? After they uninvited you? Marcus, I think it's time my family learned something about the restaurant business. What's that? That their daughter who plays around with food trucks actually knows what she's doing. I called Mom back. Jennifer, please tell me you found something. Mom, I have good news and bad news. Tell me. The good news is that I might be able to get your Bella's reservation reinstated. Really? Oh, Jennifer, you're a lifesaver. How? I know someone who has influence with the management. Jennifer, you're amazing. What's the bad news? The bad news is that the reservation comes with a condition. What condition? The party size has to be 13 people instead of 12. 13? Who would be the extra person? Me, Mom. There was silence on the other end. Jennifer. Mom, the person who can get your reservation back wants me included in the dinner. The person who can get our reservation back? Yes. Jennifer, who do you know at Bella's? I know the owner. You know the owner of Bella's? I do. Jennifer, how do you know the owner of a 3-star restaurant? Mom, that's a good question. How do you think I know the owner? I don't know. Through your food truck business. In a way, yes. Jennifer, what aren't you telling me? Mom, what if I told you that my food truck business grew into something bigger? How much bigger? What if I told you that I own 7 restaurants now? 7 restaurants? 7 restaurants, 2 catering companies and over 200 employees. Jennifer, are you serious? I'm serious, Mom. But you dropped out of law school. You started with a food truck. And I built it into a restaurant empire. Jennifer, are you telling me that you're successful? I'm telling you that I'm very successful. How successful? Mom, Thompson Culinary Holdings grossed $12 million last year. $12 million? $12 million. Jennifer. Thompson Culinary Holdings. Yes. Jennifer, are you saying that you own Bella's? I'm saying that Thompson Culinary Holdings owns Bella's. And I own Thompson Culinary Holdings. The silence that followed was profound. Mom? Are you there? Jennifer, you own the restaurant where we made our reservation? I own the restaurant where you made your reservation to celebrate with family only. Oh my God. I own the restaurant where you wanted to impress Uncle Robert with how successful our family is, while excluding the most successful member of the family. Jennifer. I own the restaurant you called me crying about, asking me to help you find a replacement for, because you needed somewhere impressive for your perfect family celebration. Jennifer, I had no idea. Of course you didn't, Mom. Because you've never asked what my business actually involves. Jennifer, I'm so sorry. Mom, are you sorry because you hurt my feelings or because you found out I'm more successful than you realized? Both. Jennifer, both. Which one is more important to you? Jennifer, that's not fair. Mom, it's a simple question. Are you more upset about excluding your daughter, or about excluding your most successful daughter? She was quiet for a long moment. Jennifer, I'm most upset about excluding my daughter. Are you? Yes. Jennifer, success doesn't matter. You're my child. Then why did you exclude me from family Thanksgiving? Because I was embarrassed. Embarrassed by what? By the fact that you don't have a traditional career. By the fact that you're not married. By the fact that Uncle Robert would ask questions about why you're different. Different. Jennifer, I thought you were struggling. I thought your food truck thing was just... I thought you were barely getting by. And that embarrassed you? Yes. Mom, would you have been embarrassed if you'd known I was worth $12 million? No. So your embarrassment was based on my perceived lack of success, not my actual character? Jennifer. Mom, do you understand what that says about your priorities? Jennifer, I was wrong. Completely wrong. About what? About everything. About your career, about your success, about excluding you from Thanksgiving. And what changed your mind? Finding out how successful you are. So if I hadn't been successful, it would have been okay to exclude me? No. That's not what I mean. What do you mean, Mom? I mean that I should have been proud of you regardless of your success level. Should have been. I mean, I am proud of you. Jennifer, I'm incredibly proud of you. Are you proud of me or proud of my bank account? Mom started crying. Jennifer, I'm proud of you for building something amazing. But I'm ashamed of myself for not seeing it sooner. Why didn't you see it sooner? Because I made assumptions. Because I thought success looked one way and when your path looked different, I assumed you were failing. And now I realize that you're the most successful person in our family, and I almost excluded you from our celebration. Mom, here's what's going to happen. Okay. You're going to get your Bella's reservation back. The full party of 13 including me. Jennifer, thank you so much. But Mom, there are conditions. Anything. First, when Uncle Robert asks about my career, you're going to tell him that I own 7 restaurants and run a $12 million company. I will. Second, you're going to tell him that you're proud of me for building something from nothing. I am proud of you. Third, you're never going to exclude me from family events again because you're embarrassed by my unconventional path. Never. Jennifer, I promise. And fourth, you're going to start asking questions about my work because you're interested in my life, not because you want to brag about my success. I will. Jennifer, I want to understand what you've built. Good. Because your daughter who plays around with food trucks actually employs more people than Michael and Ashley combined. Thursday arrived and Thanksgiving dinner at Bella's was everything Mom had hoped for. The private dining room was elegant, the food was exceptional, and Uncle Robert was properly impressed. But the best part was watching Mom introduce me to relatives. This is Jennifer, my youngest daughter. She owns Thompson Culinary Holdings. They own this restaurant and 6 others. She built the whole company from a single food truck. I'm incredibly proud of her. Uncle Robert looked impressed. Jennifer, this is quite an accomplishment. How long did it take you to build all this? 8 years, Uncle Robert. Started with 1 food truck and grew it step by step. That's remarkable entrepreneurial spirit. Your parents must have been supportive of your vision from the beginning. I looked at Mom, who had the grace to look embarrassed. Actually, Uncle Robert, my family didn't quite understand what I was building until recently. They thought I was just playing around with food. Well, clearly you were doing much more than playing around. Yes, I was. But it took them a while to see it. Mom squeezed my hand under the table. During dessert she pulled me aside. Jennifer, can I ask you something? Sure, Mom. Why did you give me back the reservation? After everything I said, after excluding you, why did you help me? Because despite everything, you're my mother and I love you. Even though I called your career embarrassing? Mom, you called my career embarrassing because you didn't understand it. That's ignorance, not malice. And the lesson? The lesson is that success comes in many forms. Just because someone's path looks different doesn't mean they're not succeeding. Jennifer, I feel like I don't know you at all. You don't, Mom. But now you have the chance to get to know me. I want to. Jennifer, will you teach me about the restaurant business? I'd love to. 6 months later, Mom had become one of my biggest supporters. She started volunteering at our annual charity dinner for underprivileged families. She learned about profit margins, staffing challenges, and the complexities of running multiple locations. But most importantly, she learned to appreciate her daughter for who she was, not just what she'd accomplished. The Thanksgiving dinner at Bella's became family legend, not just because of the food, but because it was the day Mom learned that her struggling daughter was actually the most successful person at the table. And I learned that sometimes the best way to teach people your worth is to give them exactly what they think they want, and let them discover what they actually need. The restaurant business taught me many lessons about service, quality, and customer satisfaction. But my family taught me the most important lesson of all, that real success is being valued for who you are, not just what you own. Mom still brags about having dinner at Bella's that Thanksgiving. But now she brags about the fact that her daughter owns it and, more importantly, that she almost missed out on celebrating with the most accomplished member of the family. Success isn't just about building a business empire. Sometimes it's about teaching the people you love to see you clearly, and giving them the chance to be better family members than they've been before. The reservation at Bella's became more than just a Thanksgiving dinner. It became the moment my family learned to appreciate unconventional success. And I learned that forgiveness paired with consequences can create the strongest family bonds of all.